these are the examples for Theorem 1. Without any waste of time, let's get into the example that's on the board. We are given that O is the center of the circle drawn here. OB is equals to 6, OB is equals to 6, OC equals to 10, OC equals to 10, and OB perpendicular to AC. We are given that OB is perpendicular to AC. If we remember carefully, we have dealt with this when we were proving the first theorem, that if this line is perpendicular to this line and forms 90 degrees here, that means this line is gonna be equal to that line. AB is now equals to BC. Write that down. AB is equals to BC. Your reason is that OB is perpendicular to AC. So that's gonna be your reason. Now, it's important that when you are given a data or something like this, a statement, you first analyze the statement before going to the question. Just like here, they gave you that OB is perpendicular to AC. You have to look at what that statement has to give you. In this case, this statement gives us that AB is equals to BC, or you can say CB. Now let's get into the question. The question says calculate the length of AC. Calculate the length or the size of what? Of AC. If we can look in triangle OBC. This triangle is a right angle triangle. So we are sorted. But the length that they want us to calculate is what? AC. But in this triangle we have what? BC. From the line we only have BC. The triangle is only, it lies from B to C. And then now, since we know that this line is equals to this line, if we can get the size of this line, that means we'll get the size of this one. And we add both lines and then we get the size or the length of AC. Let's go ahead now and try to calculate the length of BC using the theorem of Pythagoras in triangle OBC. You can pause the video and try to solve the length of BC. So, using the theorem of Pythagoras, using the theorem of Pythagoras, we find that OC, it's our hypotenuse, squared is equals to OB, or you can start with CB squared plus OB squared. So OC, we are given that OC is equals to 10. OC is 10. Let's say centimeters. It's 10 centimeters squared is equals to CB. We don't have the size or the length of CB. It's what we're looking for. And then we're going to write it as it is, CB squared plus, what's the length of OB? OB is 6 units. Get a 100. CB, we don't know. We write him as CB squared plus 6 squared is what? 36. Take the 36 to the other side. A 100 minus 36 is 64. Minus 36 equals to CB squared. 100 minus 36 is what? 64 equals to CB squared. Now the CP is squared, but we want a CP that's not squared. We'll put square roots both sides, the square root of 64 and the square root of CP. And then the square root of CP will cancel the square root. Sorry, the squared will cancel the square root. And then the square root of 64 is what? Is 8. Therefore, CP is equals to 8. But remember, they said the length of who? The length of AC. We have the length of BC. But here we said AP is equals to BC. You see, we said these are equal. We said these two are equal. Therefore, AC is equals to 2 times AB, because AB is equals to BC. That means it is 2 times. Therefore, 2 times CB. And what's the value of CP? The value of CP is what? 2 times CP is 8, and we get a 16. This is our second example. It says AP is a chord of a circle center O. OE bisects AP. We know if something bisects, it means it cuts that thing into 2 equal halves. Then they say OE bisects AP. You can see it cut AP here into 2 equal halves. AT is equals to 12 centimeter. AD equals to 12 centimeters. Then we update our sketch. This AD is equals to 12 centimeters. ED equals to 8 centimeters. They've already put the 8 centimeter for us there. We don't need to. ED is 8 centimeters, and OD is equals to X. OD equals to X. And then now they are asking you to determine the radius of OB in terms of X. So any line that is drawn from the center of a circle to the circumference, it's a radius. And in that particular circle, if you draw another line from the center to wherever in the circumference, it's still a radius, and the length of the radius are all equal. So you can see OA is a line from the center to the circumference. And we can see OB is also a line from the center to the circumference. We can see also OE is a line from the center to the circumference. That means all these 3 lines are equal because they are what? They are all radius. And then now they say determine the radius in terms of X. If you are determining something in terms of another thing, in this case, let's say determine Y in terms of X. They mean that you should have Y as the subject of the formula equals to 2X, or Y equals to 3X plus 4X. It can be 4X squared. It can be whatever, as long as it is in terms of what? Of X. So now they are saying we should determine the radius in terms of X. Is OE a radius? Yes, OE is a radius since it's a line drawn from the center to the circumference. From O to D is X. From D to E is what? Is 8. So from OE, it's basically X plus 8. The radius is gonna be X plus 8. But since we said all these lines are equal, that means therefore OB is also X plus 8. The second question says, hence calculate the actual length of OP. OP, we found that OP is X plus 8, but they want the actual length. That basically means we should calculate what? The value of X. The value of X. So Now, X falls in this triangle, ODANOBD. But we have more information on this triangle than on that other triangle. So we have this side as X, we have this side as what? As 12. But remember, OP is a radius, right? We found OP to be X plus 8. OA is also a radius. That means OA is also X plus 8. Hope we are together in this one. Now we have this side, and this side. We can use the so-called Theorem of Pythagoras to get what? The value of X. In triangle ODA, it's very important to specify in which triangle you are dealing with, because here we can see there are three triangles. There's OAB, there's ODA, and OBD. So you have to be specific so that the marker cannot get confused when he or she is marking your paper. And then now in this triangle we use what? Theorem of Pythagoras. And you should write this as well. You should write, you are using what? The Theorem of Pythagoras. The Theorem of Pythagoras states that the hypotenuse of which is AOA squared is equals to the sum of the other two sides, both being squared separately, equals to AT squared plus OD squared. OA is what? OA is 8 plus, sorry, it's AX plus 8. It's X plus 8. And then there's a squared. AT is what? AT is 12 centimeters. We squared this 12 centimeters. OT is what? OT is X. We square them. 8x, X plus 8 squared. You can open two brackets, but for the sake of space, I'll just simplify 8 plus x. You can open two brackets separately and solve this. This will give you x squared plus 8 plus 8. What's 8 plus 8? It's 16x plus 8 squared, 64. You get 12 squared is what? 144 plus x squared. So now you have to group like terms. When you take this x to this side, you see the x is positive this side. When it comes to this side, it will be negative. Then the x squared, will be negative. Then this one is positive. That will be negative x squared minus, x squared minus x squared. It's like 1 minus 1. You get what? You get 0. X squared minus x squared, you get the 0. Then this one will cancel this one. And then now you'll be left with 16x equals to 164. Take this, it's positive. When it jumps the equal sign, it becomes negative. And then you have 144 minus 64. You get 80. Divide by 16. Divide by 16. 16 divided by 5. X is equals to 80 divided by 16. It's what? It's 5. But the question wanted the actual value of what? OP. We see OP is x plus 8. But now we have the value of x is 5. We substitute 5 instead of x now. And then we get what? 13. The actual value of OP is 13. Please like this video, subscribe, and share with your friend. Comment on the comment section below as to what you'd want to learn, or if you have any questions, I'll drop my WhatsApp number at the description box. You can call the number, you can email me. I'll leave my email address as well